What's up, people on YouTube? This is my YouTube voice, and I'm not going to use it anymore. Welcome to the channel, blah, blah, blah. Today, we will exploring on YouTube what happens when you give 8 billion monkeys access to the internet to debate the God topic. Watch as I stick my pecker in his croc's ass. Let's see if we can rouse him. I miss that guy.
Yeah, he was fucking hilarious.
Watching all these videos recently, I don't know why, but YouTube thought I liked stingrays for a second, and they were sending me these videos of like swimming with stingrays, and like one place had like picnic tables set up in the water, and like stingrays could like swim around your feet. I'm just like, man, crazy. Swimming with stingrays. Shit, I'll be back. Dude, my little brother's bark is like, I guess for some people it's like super annoying. It's almost like a scream, like a little quick scream.
Yeah.
It's so funny how annoying he can be for some people, but like for me, I think it's funny as hell, even when he's like full blown, like freaking out.
It's just the glasses that you see. Like one thing can be annoying to another. You're right. Like it's just the perspective you see it through, I guess. Right.
Yeah. I think I like it because it drives my mom nuts. And then like my dad, he loved that dog. So like that dog could do no wrong. I just know that it eats at her, you know?
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but
a loving kind of pestering way.
Yeah. Like I think it annoys her because it reminds her of him, you know? She's not annoyed in a bad way though. Like it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. Because he liked to get a rise out of people sometimes, you know? With some of the funny shit he'd say.
I know that exactly that kind of human. My dad would do the same thing. He would troll. Like before trolling was fucking cool. Yeah. That's what he would do.
He always came up with these stupid ass sayings and shit, like if you're gonna drink and drive, don't forget your chainsaw. Shit, dude. It's just like what? Dude, holy shit, dude. I hope the worst for that cop. This fucking guy like pulls over to help. Like there was an accident, motorcycle accident, and he pulls over to help. He's got like prior training and shit. And then at the end of it, the cop starts doing a DUI on him. He's like, "Oh, you smell of alcohol and shit." He's like, the guy had like 2 beers earlier, like hours earlier. They were coming home from vacation or whatever. He had a couple beers earlier and may have smelled it on him a little bit. And so he does the field sobrieties and stuff. And he's just like, look, can you just breathalyze me? And the cops refuse to like breathalyze him, arrested him and everything. This dude pulls over to help somebody. This dude wins $500,000 from the cops too. Fucking idiot's got the fucking "We the People" in 1776 tattoo. I hope he's still fucking proud of that tattoo.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be living up to that credo.
Yeah, his blood alcohol level was 0, undetectable. Nothing in this guy's system at all. He's just a good Samaritan pulling over to fucking help somebody fucking live and gets arrested for a goddamn DUI. You think he's ever pulling over again? Hell no. Well, actually, he probably will, but still. Sorry, I mean, if you're that much of a fucking lying piece of shit cop, you should just be fired. Fuck you. You're fired. Dude, I swear, if Disclosure Day isn't good for me, I'm going to go full terrorist. I've been needing a good alien movie for a long time, and I've been waiting way too long.
I haven't seen I haven't seen any previews for it. Have you?
No, just some of the initial trailers, and then I stopped watching. It's got mixed reviews, I guess, like 6, 7, somewhere around like 6, but when it's there, it's like a hit and miss. Like it could either be a really good movie that for whatever reason like, or you know, it could be a bad. We'll see. It's Steven fucking Spielberg. Like, bruh. That's why I cannot wait for AI to be a lot better at making movies, because we get locked into these fucking people and we're like, oh, it's Christopher Nolan. Like it's just automatic that it's shit, like Steven Spielberg and shit. I bet you there's a lot of good ass fucking creators out there that just don't have the something that's preventing them from being able to make badass content. Like, I guess people don't understand some of the functions of like the AI, like that shit with the reading the transcripts and coming up with ideas. I bet there's a lot of people that just lack that kind of creativity, but they got ideas, and that fucking AI's there coming in clutch.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee there's a bunch of ideas out there that are phenomenal. It's just they lack the ability to manipulate the AI to make it do what it wants it to do.
Or just like, for me, it seems like in that example, I was just thinking like it can plant seeds in your brain, you know, give you ideas about how to like do videos and shit. It's pretty cool. Or like what videos to do things about, you know, like what kind of videos. Pretty cool. Like it gives you interesting ideas. You should check it out. If you still have your YouTube, you should go in there and like click on one of your videos and ask the AI about ideas and shit. And it's pretty cool.
I will.
I think what we need to do is start giving out free detardation sessions again. Oh, and if you're an American with terrible diarrhea because of this fucking parasite, you deserve it. It's what you get for being an American. Enjoy it. Should have voted different. Fucking Americans. You fucking Americans. It's okay, guys. We're in this together. No, that would suck, man. I'd hate getting a parasite and just shit in my pants all the time. Hope we can do something about this. I don't need this spreading world, like nationwide and shit. I don't want to get it. Is basically what I'm saying. If you got the parasite, like stay home, shit your brains out at home, and then like a couple of weeks after your last diarrhea, then you can come back outside. Do your fellow American a solid. For social distancing. Dude, how crazy is it that the Muslims are trying to save us from the Jews in America and stop the Christians from helping the Jews? You really think about it, like there's the Mamdani and then like all these Muslims coming out in American politics, like taking over, being all Democrat, socialists and shit. I don't know. It's crazy. What the fuck is happening to this world, man? Wow.
Dude, I've been saying it.
Dude, how in the fuck are it should just be illegal to sell fucking locks, dude.
It should be illegal to sell what?
Locks. Like you should be able to only sell a lock advertised as like a paperweight or a shiny, flashy thing, but you should not be able to mark them as locks. They don't lock shit.
Lock picking videos?
Yeah, well, I'm scrolling the YouTube shorts and those pop up the lock picking guy's like, all right, this is the model 123, and I'm gonna pick it, and that's how you pick. And there's no cuts or edits or anything. It's literally that fast. He just sticks his pick in it, and boom, it pops open, and then sorry.
Yeah, when I learned how to pick locks, it was very obvious to me at that point how the illusion of safety that we have, or the illusion of security.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't a lock picking expert or anything. I mean, I know how to do like a regular, the bullshit on a front door or something like that, just a regular one. And then remember them old chains that had the rolly numbers, and it just like you put the thing in the hole and you rotated the little discs and it changed the number and it locked it.
Yeah, well, like a bike
yeah,
lock?
like for a bike chain.
Yeah.
Those were easy because you just jiggled it. You jiggled it and you rotated, jiggled more, and you felt it get looser, and then it finally just popped open. I tell you, man, like there has got to be a way to make an actual fucking lock somewhat. Like all I'm saying is in these videos where it takes him less than 2 seconds to pick a fucking lock, that lock should not be marketed as a lock. I don't care if like lock companies go out of business. It's not a lock.
Generally, when you're talking about anything Quickset or anything Schleg, those are really, really easy. But then you do get into some high priced locks that have pins that you all have to twist, or sidebars like to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not. So in theory, anything with a key can be picked. That's just the way it is. But there are some stuff like the You Change It locks. I guess not anything by Quickset, because Quickset does have that brand, the You Change It or the You Change locks. They work without pins. It's like a different mechanism inside with a sidebar. And while they can be picked, the amount of people that have that in their skill set is so small, you're pretty fucking safe, and they can't be bumped either. So there are locks out there that do a good job, and I happen to have them on my house, right? Like I know which ones do a good job, and which ones have a very small skill set of people that know how to do. But yeah, the regular stuff like you're talking about, yeah, that's just illusion, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to feel about them. I get, there's quality differences and shit, dude, but like I don't know, it's like selling cardboard as an automobile or something because you spray painted it. It's a false sense of security. I know that there's not real, but still, you're marketing it as a security device, and your lock is so shitty you could breathe on it and it falls apart. Like at some point,
it's you're not wrong. I mean, they're a basic 5-pin lock is for anybody that has any sort of mechanical knowledge about how a lock works, and then have some picks with them. But that's also why picks are in many areas considered burglary tools. So they're not necessarily illegal, but they can get you in trouble. And I don't necessarily know to what extent, but they can get you in trouble considering the context. Like if you're out at 1 o'clock in the morning, dressed in black on a walking down the street, and for whatever reason you get stopped by the cops and they find picks on you, that could lead you to get in some trouble. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Kind of like if you have like weed or literally any. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just like butthurt that it just seems like blatant false advertisement. It's like selling weed that don't get you high, man. It's like selling like O'Doul's as beer,
Yeah.
Really what they ought to do is like for like home invasions and shit, just chop your hands off like they used to do. Just literally chop them the fuck off. Like I get like if you're stealing a candy bar or something like that from a store, but if you're actually doing a home invasion, breaking in someone's fucking home, yeah, you should just have your hands chopped off at that point. I mean, that's some serious shit. I mean, because you could get killed in some states for doing that shit. So, like, losing your hands, mercy. It's like some of that old school, like, punishments, they actually made more sense than the ones we have today. Yeah, and look, people on the YouTubes, especially this, I don't know how to say your name, Zizento. I just get triggered by shit like that. I do. I have no patience for someone like that to ask me such a trivial question. If you want to know what I mean, stuff like that about questions and stuff like that, you can ask individualized questions like, what does it mean to you? But like, if you come at me on something, you could literally just look up on Google in less than the amount of time that it took you to type that in my side chat. Yeah, I have no respect for people like you. You're an invalid in my book, and you're just worth zero time investing in, because I would have to like teach you the fucking alphabet. So I'm just not interested in answering questions like that. It just shows me like what kind of person I'm dealing with, if you will. If you're like a child or something, I get it, but you really shouldn't be watching my stream anyway if you're a child. So, I could just say, learn how to use Google. It's your friend, or ChatGPT if you find that too difficult, because it'll teach you how to use it. But if you can't look up basic information for yourself, I'm not talking to you, or you people, right? Like, what do you want me to do about it? You're gonna ask me how to wipe your ass next, and I'm just not interested in teaching you shit that you should know how to do already. So go Google it, go look it up. If you have any questions, you can bring those questions to me, and I'll answer it on like a sort of like a personalized way. But I'm not your fucking encyclopedia. I'm not here to Google shit for you. I'm not that guy, dude. So just go bother somebody else with those stupid. Oh, and I mean, generally to YouTube, I'm not going to suck you off for likes. You can go fuck yourself. I don't care if you like it or not. I hope you do enjoy the content. That would be appreciated there. But yeah, I'm not going to debase myself for some fucking guy on YouTube just so you click a button. Fuck you, right? If you don't want to click the button, don't click the button. If you want to click the button, yeah, click the button. I don't care. Because here's the thing, man. I'm putting out this information for people who want to use it, not just for entertainment. So this channel can just be a repository of information. It's going to be here whether you guys like it or not. That being said, press the button. Press the fucking button. Yeah, TikTok's still telling me to go fuck myself, dude. One fucking video. One goddamn video. Fuck them. They don't know. They have no idea what they're missing. I do need to make like an intro video. You know how like some YouTube channels, you go to their channel and it has that automatic video up front that plays. I need to make one of those that just kind of like explains what's the intent and like all that stuff.
There we go. I had to step away for a second.
Wow. I just don't know how to do that. I think I found it, but I didn't click on any buttons, but I think I found it. It's like where you can configure your channel the way it looks. I think you gotta like add that. You can like go into your content and like transfer the video over there. I don't know. You know what sucks is like I can't talk to a microphone. I can't do it. It's so hard for me to try to make a video. Like I've made a shitload of like videos in my life as those kind of intros, like instructions or things that I intended to upload to YouTube. But if I'm not talking to a person or think I'm talking to a person, like if I feel like I'm talking to my computer, I can't do it. I just can't. It's not the same. I've deleted every single one of those videos because I listen back to it and it's just like, dude, that's not how you talk. That's not you. You're acting or something. When people ask you, how do you define God? I heard you say, or you said God is whatever the monkey you were talking to says. Yeah, I can't text more. This is the first. Oh yeah. If there's a way to increase character limits, I don't know how. I'll increase it if I can though, because yeah, I hate it when it cuts you off after, like, when you get so many people with so many different opinions on the word. Does it come to God can be anything? Okay, so yeah, it is a convoluted argument that I'm making, and I see how people get lost there. So the intent, you got to think about it from like different perspectives and try to kind of hold them all together. So their intent to describe God is that it's referencing a thing, an actual thing, and that actual thing should be able to be observed, right, by them, because they're making a claim about it. And if it's observable by them, then it should be observable by me, assuming that I have the same observations. So this is like their starting intent, is to describe a thing that exists external to their mind. But from my perspective, right, I take like an overview effect here. I kind of try to mentally zoom out. And when I mentally zoom out, I'm aware of a multitude of gods, a multitude of different conversations I've had from people who have said this, that, and the other thing is God. Zooming in, I know not to do that because I'm only talking to this one person and they've only told me one concept of God. The only way that I know that there's other definitions is when I zoom out and I have that overview effect and I remember all the prior conversations that I have. And I think a lot of atheists and theists have a difficult time frame shifting like that, going in and out of whether you're referring to you're talking to the person about what they're attempting to describe based on perception, right? Based on some observed perceivable trait or characteristic of this extant, this thing they're talking about. Now I'm scoping the whole conversation in like that, where it's just like, you could see that I'm tainting it heavily with empiricism. Like I'm putting that on my interlocutor, and I am putting it on my interlocutor because it's the nature of the question that I'm asking. I'm asking people to prove the existence of. I'm not saying prove God's fat to me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying prove God's round, prove God's tall. I'm not asking people to provide those kinds of descriptions. I'm asking them to provide the ontology so that I can differentiate between, gaslighting, honesty and mistake, honesty and accuracy. I need to be able to differentiate my interlocutor's claims about God. So when I'm asked, what do I mean by God? I give them the overview effect definition from my most accurate representation of what I'm observing down on earth, right? I take, so I'm not saying, hey, over here it's a sun, over here it's a Jesus, over here it's a whatever. I'm saying in here in my mind, as I look down on earth and try to understand the best context, the best usage that all of the monkeys, I've realized that the only way that I can provide an accurate definition of that is to shift the topic. Instead of talking about the ontology, giving you a definition of God, I give you the one thing I can appeal to ontology about, and that's the behavior of humans. There are humans down there on that planet, and they are acting and they are behaving and they are believing. And Igtheism saying that on the topic of God, they're not languaging properly. They're violating their own rules, our own rules, right? Overview effect, I'm an alien. Down on earth, I'm a human, right? So I think when you ask me, what do I mean by God? I mean what my species means by God, not what one of my members means. I mean holistically what my species means. And I think the best and most accurate representation of what my species does mean, when you get past all the fluff and the gaslighting and the bullshit, is God is a meaningless, incoherent sound that they use to express their unwillingness to do a valid investigation about a natural phenomenon. Now, since I know that I'm frame shifting here and talking about human behavior and thus that ontology, I say my definition doesn't apply to what you're asking me. It truly doesn't. Because you're asking me to give you a definition of what is essentially a comic book character. And instead of saying, well, God is square circle man who shoots a beam that deletes reality, I'm saying I would only be giving you a definition of a comic book character. That's the best that I can get to it. And since I'm an honest interlocutor, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pretend that I know something about the nature of this being, like it's square circle man and it shoots a beam and that beam deletes reality. These are all claims that should be coming from my observations. When I say he's square circle man, it should be because he looks like the shape of a square in a circle. When I say he shoots a beam, it should be because it's extending some light from his body. But when I say that that beam occurs in reality and it deletes reality, then there should be no beam, right? So these are the incompatible statements. This is why when I'm asking someone, what do they mean by God? I'm not asking for words. And people get confused about that. They're like, well, why are you asking a question if you don't want words? Because words are not what convey the meaning of a thing, the nature of that thing. That words don't do that. We use words to describe the way we're compelled to believe about that. And we're compelled to believe what we think about nature from our observations. So we can't really define the nature of an object. We can approximate it through descriptive definitions. And I always pick on the beaver. Beaver's a large rodent of the genus Castor, having sharp incisors, webbed hind feet, and a flattened tail. That's just us referencing notable characteristics that we got from our experience, right? It's from that observation of the beaver. So trying to understand what a beaver is by looking in a dictionary is just doing it the hard way, right? The easiest way to understand what a beaver is isn't to go through words, isn't to convey the meaning of a beaver in a symbolically represented lexicon. It's to just make an observation of the beaver. That's the most meaningful aspect of what the nature of a beaver is. It's going to be conveyed merely by your cognition, your ability to perceive, put that information into some kind of morsel of information for your brain to, logic, and then you understand it, right? And that's the logical pathway. So what does God mean to me? God is a meaningless, incoherent sound that people are using. They think it's a word because they've given it a definition. But like I said, if you're not giving me a definition pertaining to the nature, which is by way of observation, then fuck you, right? You're gaslighting me. You are necessarily, by definition, misrepresenting the facts because you don't have access to them. You're trying to manipulate my brain into believing an obvious falsehood. There is absolutely no positive pathway to acceptance in this conversation. You're a negative person, right? You're not being honest either with yourself or with me. And whether you're not being honest with yourself or with me isn't really my problem. I detect deception, and so I get offended like that, triggered. I treat people like shit when they treat me like shit. When I'm asking someone to convey something about reality and then they gaslight me by appealing entirely to their imagination, it's offensive. And, that's an aspect of our culture. Most human beings respond this way because we're gaslighting our youth to behave like this. That when we offer someone what we think is a meaningful definition about the nature of an object, we just appeal to our imaginations, which is a task that we know ourselves would be offended if you did it to us, right? If I ask you a question and you gaslight me, I'm going to be offended. Right. And so I already know that if I gaslight you, you should be offended. And we intentionally do this. We intentionally misrepresent all of this stuff. Right. And treat each other like dog shit by persistently, participating in this cultural collective delusion. I think the honest thing to do is just admit to all of ourselves that we're making shit up about reality and that our conclusions are just that. They're just made up conclusions. Atheists need to admit that because the theists are really bad sources of data, that their conclusion God doesn't exist is not warranted. It's not warranted because there may be some entity out there responsible for a whole bunch of bullshit and we don't know anything about it. So we just assume that it's not real because these people that do make that logical leap sound stupid when they make the logical leap.
but you're still making the logical leap. You're making the same one. You're jumping across that same chasm. They're not jumping by themselves. The atheists are jumping with them, right? Going out on a ledge saying that, hey, based on my, interactions with this group of people that I think are dumb, I'm going to reach a conclusion that isn't warranted. You can't prove a God doesn't exist, so you should lack of belief that they do exist, right? You shouldn't hold on to that idea. But these atheists have YouTube channels. They're promoting it as a philosophy. They're out there trying to convince people. And then when you try to go to their source material, like put the atheists aside for a minute, when you try to go to their source material, holy fucking shit. Theists are so disconnected from reality that you begin to ask, what the fuck are the atheists even talking about when they say they don't believe in the existence? This thing, you don't believe in the existence of this thing or this thing. And you go down the list of gods, right? The atheist is tasked with saying no to every single question. And so going back to how do I define God, and it being however my interlocutor defines it, sometimes my interlocutor defines it as real things. And since my definition of God is useless to the ontological nature of a God, I only have my interlocutor's definition to appeal to. If I pick any other person's definition, let's say I'm talking to person A and they tell me God's square. If I go to anyone else and ask them, I'm making a critical error, right? They're not talking about the same object. They're talking about two different objects. Whatever object 2 and person B's claim, unless they're talking about the same object, that's the only way. If they're both having a shared interrelated experience, but then that's going to be a problem for both sides. Again, it's problem's not solved, right? If they're having a shared interrelated experience, what am I objecting to? I'm having the same shared interrelated experience. Allegedly, there it is. They're seeing it, that guy's seeing it, and now a third person, me, I'm seeing it too. So who's objecting to the existence here? None of us. We can all be objecting to what we're observing, right? Our understandings of it or something like that, but we're not objecting to the ontology. That's been hashed out. But if we're not having a shared interrelated experience, that means person A can't observe their thing and person B can't observe their thing. Person C, who's just asking these two parties, I can't observe anything either. So what are we talking about? We're either talking about a thing or we're not talking about a thing. If we're talking about a thing, right, and there's an actual thing there, then we just make our observations and talk about our shared experience. If we're talking about not a thing, the fuck are we talking about? Right? There's just nothing to describe. There's no characteristic that would be indicative of it. There's no way to label a thing that's not there. So I honestly don't know what the atheists are doing. You don't need anti-stamp collectingism. You don't need anti-tennisism. The only reason that atheists feel compelled to define themselves as atheists is because theism is gaslighting them, culturally abusing them, cognitively malnourishing them, not treating them like valid members of the village, right? That's the only reason they're abused by that group. And so you got these two groups like locked in eternal battle because they just keep breeding and then gaslighting their children. It's just like this rinse and repeat. That part's not going away until enough people step back and say, all right, let's get out of hand. Right? You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you guys, why are you forming a whole philosophy based on you don't accept them? Again, there is valid reasons to reject theistic incursions and shit like that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't fight against theism. I'm saying there is no philosophy of atheism. And so you don't need to call yourself an atheist. And once you abandon atheism and realize there are better philosophies to address the problem that's going on, Igtheism does not struggle at all with shitting on theism at all. There's literally zero, and I don't have to go out on these ledges and assume a burden that I'm not prepared to have, which is to tell somebody what a god isn't. To make my job as a god of classical theism denier, to make my job easier, I just go around acting like some kind of fucking expert ruling out God. So I don't have a definition. And I think of the ontological nature of God. I have a definition of the ontological nature of human beings and their behavior and their proclivity to talk about imaginary characters, do so poorly of a job of representing those things, that they're horrible, and then people don't want to believe in them, and there's cultural tension, right? There's friction. I have an ontology. I have a burden. I have a philosophy. This is something atheists don't have and they should get, right? I understand they don't collect stamps, but they should define themselves by the hobbies they do, not by the hobbies they don't. They've long known this, but they just seem like lost sheep, if you will. They just seem like lost sheep. They need a title, and so they define themselves based on their abusers, right? They gatekeep theistic concepts. They act like they're some kind of expert, and it seems like they're just running defense for theists. I think they should abandon that, because not being a philosophical position does not give you a philosophical position. And I hear a lot of smart people in atheisms that have the atheisms. A lot of smart people have caught atheisms. So they could use their big brains on other tasks, which technically they already do. But they should give those other tasks the credit and stop blaming that they contracted atheism at some point in their life and atheism did it. Atheism didn't do shit. Atheism is just you saying you're not a theist. That's all it should be saying. But they have built this weird faux philosophy around it. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. Igtheism has a burden. Igtheism is a philosophy. Igtheism addresses ontology. Everything that an atheist wishes they could do, and do by appealing to other philosophies, which is fine. Like an atheist is a naturalist, an atheist is an empiricist, an atheist is literally anything else. You ask an atheist, what are your beliefs? 100% of the time, it's not atheism. See what I'm saying? It's why are you guys saying this word? If you play soccer, say you play soccer. Quit telling people you don't play chess when they ask you what sport you play. Quit telling them you're not a tennis player. No one gives a shit if you're not a tennis player when they ask you what you are. Tell them what you are. Name the philosophy that you put forward, but it ain't atheism. You can't put atheism forward. Atheism can only be put forward if God is a coherent, rational category for you to reject. That's the only way that you can do it. So the atheists feign like theism is coherent enough to reject. It ain't coherent enough to reject. That's exactly the point. So when somebody says theism, we say, what? But atheists say, oh, yeah, no, I understand your proposition and it's wrong. No, I don't understand the theistic proposition because it's fundamentally incoherent. So it's wrong. Theism is wrong on that regard. But there's ways to fix all problems in language. Right? This is not a permanent problem. We should never address these things as permanencies. Language works that we can modify ideas, and we can modify an idea such to the point that it becomes rational and coherent. Right? When we get evidence for magic poofery, like one day the nerds are going to be mixing chemicals and magic poofery is going to occur. So we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to change magic poofery. Now, I don't believe in magic poofery. I don't think that'll ever happen. It's just an example. That if a scientist walked into a lab as a level 7 scientist, but was able to walk out level 3 necromancer, I'm not going to object to that. He's a level 3 necromancer when he comes out. The dude's raising like chickens and shit from the dead. Look at his undead army is the things that I would be saying. And everybody be like, yeah, I mean, his undead army is a dick, but he doesn't need to, right? They would be complaining about reality. And we would all be complaining about reality, that the level 9 nerd cross-classed into level 3 necromancer is a fucking dick and needs to stop leaving his zombie chickens everywhere. Right? But I don't care if I have to say that at some point in the future. I'm not going to stop believing in what's reality because zombie chickens start walking around. Right? I'm not going to deny reality. So I don't give a shit if my notions now are wrong. So why would I give you a philosophy of what I think doesn't exist? That's just incoherent. I can give you a philosophy of what I do think exists, which is a bunch of gaslit monkeys. Yeah, I hope that clears it up. Because, I mean, that's all I've been saying for a long time now is atheism is incoherent because it's an incoherent rejection of a fundamentally incoherent proposition. That's not even propositional. It's an incoherent proposition. It's non-propositional. I was trying to explain this to a dude last night. He doesn't understand what propositions are. They're, truth app claims and stuff. But if I can't determine the veracity of a truth app claim, then how do I know it's even truth app? Right? So it's just not a true proposition if I can't evaluate the proposition. A string of words and an utterance doesn't count. There's something more to an utterance that makes it propositional than the mere utterance. And so if you utter a statement about the nature of reality, I'm going to expect data, actual fucking evidence. You giving me like a logically consistent argument, that's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because it's not constructed there. The logically consistent argument has precedence, right? There are things that precede it. There are things that build a logically constructed argument that shows the truth of a matter in reality. They want to act like we could just start with the argument. No, you can't. You start with reality. You appeal to reality. You figure reality out first, and then you build your argument. This is why I don't give a shit about your stupid fucking arguments. I asked you to show me a thing. I didn't ask you to give me an argument that I saw a thing. You can only construct a valid argument and a sound argument that I saw a thing after I see a thing. If I don't see a thing, then your argument about what I saw is dog shit. I don't care if you fucking nailed it. I don't care if your argument that I saw a thing was that when I open the box, I will see a red thing. And then, lo, there is a box. I open it up and I see a red thing. It's not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is that when I open the box and I see a red thing, it will, from then on, justify any statement that says I looked in a box and saw a red thing. I don't believe in your time machine. I don't think your map precedes the territory, no matter how accurate your map is. I don't care if you can quantum tunnel a map that's directly transposed from the territory. None of that's relevant. You're talking about a map. I asked you about the territory. And people don't get it. They don't understand that. They haven't been trained that way. Too many people around them think it's okay that when somebody mentions the territory, that you only reference a map. I don't think that's okay, and I think people need to start training their monkeys better, with a higher standard, that we don't get to do that we need to bring more to the table than the assertion, because it's just toxic as fuck. These people have let the conversation degrade to the point that we have presuppers in this world. They argue, they debate with presuppers. Like, you have to be an extremely dumb, like your IQ is actually low. This isn't just you're like misinformed or something like that. Like, if you're a presuppositional apologetic person, you have to be low IQ to think that you're going to go into a fucking debate where you're talking to an opposition. This is an opposing person. They're going to be disagreeing with you. Okay, that's the whole intent. They're going to be disagreeing with you, or at least offering counterfactuals or a better model for people to consider. So that's the intent, right? So for you, as the low IQ knuckle dragger that you are, going into a conversation with presuppositions as your arm, right, as your attack, as your offense, that you're going to offer a presupposition to someone in a debate like that, not understanding that presuppositions are offered without justification. So literally, the way a presupposition should work here is that you offer it, and if I like it, I'll tell you. I'll be like, yeah, okay. And then we'll move forward in the conversation. If I don't like it, I'll be like, yeah, I don't like that. That's stupid. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I accept your presupposition. And if I don't, you must be prepared to convince me. You can't just force the fucking presupposition down my throat. All I got to do is disagree with it. That's it. And now it seems unfair. I'm the guy you're talking to, right? In that moment, in the hypothetical, I am the guy you're talking to, who you are offering this statement without justification. Now, you said it. It's presuppositional, right? Here's the statement I offer to you without justification. Then I look at the statement and it's like, God's real. Well, that's what you're supposed to be arguing. So no, I disagree with you. But what does the presup do? Tries to force that presup down your, because they're just asserting it as true. It's just the assertion without justification. And so immediately you have to ask your interlocutor. If you disagree with a presupposition, you have to tell them, You say, hey, I disagree with your presupposition. Now it's on the person giving you the presupposition to offer basically the same idea as not a presupposition. So they have to argue for it. They have to be able to unpack it. You can offer it without justification, but if I ask you for the justification, you better be prepared to provide it if you want me to flip from nuh-uh to yeah-huh. So there's absolutely nothing wrong, technically, with you going into a debate and just entirely using presuppositions, and you just offer things. You'd be like, you believe you're on Earth? And they'll be like, yeah. And you believe you're a ground monkey? And they'll be like, yeah. And then you'd be like, so would you do a member of your own species? And they would be like, yes. And then you would be like, okay, in conclusion, you'd fuck a monkey. Yeah. I mean, that's how you do it. If they at any point push back along the train and like you say, okay, so you're a monkey. And then they're like, no. Well, you can't just conclude you'd fuck a monkey because now you're talking about interspecies sex or whatever. That's, you can't accuse people that's bestiality. And they could push back. But if you get them to agree that they themselves are a monkey, they agreed with that. They didn't push back. And then you said, so you'd have sex member of your own species. And they'd be like, yeah. Well, now you've got them to admit that they'd fuck a monkey. So you just concluded, like, so then you'd fuck a monkey. They have to say yes. If they say no, then you're challenging one of the premises which you offered presuppositionally. But that's the thing is, if all of my presuppositions, if you accept them, then it's fine. There's no issue. If you don't accept them, there's an issue and we have to rectify that. So these presuppers, they're so dumb. They don't know that their interlocutor, all they have to do is ask for justification. That's it. But the problem then becomes, why are you debating with presuppositions? Because logically, I can't ask you for justification. Logically. That's why I'm saying you can offer it presuppositionally, but the moment I say nuh-uh, you have to move into justification land, which is not a presupposition. The presupper has to admit that to convince someone who already opposes that presuppositionalism is not the way. Presuppositionalism is only for people who already believe. They already agree. I will accept any presupposition you offer me if I already accept it. You see how redundant that sounds? Because that's how it should sound. Any position you offer me that I already feel is true, I am not going to require justification. I'm just going to let you say it. And we're going to move to the next claim. But so who's the dumb one? The presupper or the guy who's going to debate the presupper? I think they're both dumb. I think if you're sitting there in your chair and you think you're going to debate a presupper, you're a dumbass. You don't understand how presups work. No, you're not going to debate a presupper. You're either going to say, yeah, huh, or you're going to say, nuh-uh. The moment you say, nuh-uh, the conversation's over with the presupper because you're asking them to shift modes, to go from their presuppositional apologetical bullshit to a completely different model where they have to offer justification. So the debate's over the moment you give any pushback. So why would you get up off of your ass and have a conversation with a presupper? Why would you do it? You already know how it's going to work. You're going to say, nuh-uh, they're going to like freak out, and then the conversation's going to be over. And if you're a presupper, don't think you're out of the woods. You're even dumber. Like, if you're a presupper, why would you even attempt to go to debate someone with presuppositions when literally all they have to do is say, nuh-uh? So yeah, the presup and anti-presupism, all that shit is, I don't know why. I guess, you know, if you want the catharsis or you just want to watch people say dumb shit, there's entertainment. But if you're there to learn, you can't learn shit from that stuff. That's how you unlearn. That's how you get like cognitive brain damage. Well, I mean, you could offer that and say, hey, look, we all presuppose logic, but that's only good until you have a prior of logic working. Then the moment you have a prior of logic actually working, you could do it again and build more priors of logic being consistent, right? And then you can switch to like a Bayesian model to explain why you persist in the idea that logic is reasonable, and you would point to the mountain of reliable data people can test for themselves. And if they're still confused, You could probably use some of that information to like whip up some kind of like tranquilizer, and then you could just tranquilize them, hog tie them, drag them off like somewhere else, and then like free them back into the wild and let them run free there. Don't hurt them. Make sure you give them the proper dosage and stuff like that, and you have experts with you. But yeah, that's what I recommend with people like that. Just tranquilize them and then let them wake up like on the other side of town or something. Give them, GPS and all that shit. Make sure they're safe. Well, I don't know if I'm predicting it, but a lot of the times I've said a lot of this shit before to like many of the thousands of interlocutors I've had, so there's themes, there's like thematic responses, and there's like just like a host of information that's got to kind of be dumped all out at one time when some questions are asked. Because I do recognize that I'm coming at this from a completely different angle. I've talked to people about this, and at first they're like, yeah, bullshit. And then I unpack it for them, and you could see kind of in real time how they're starting to see how I'm actually not even looking at the problem they're looking at. I'm half looking at it enough to show them, hey, this is what you're seeing, right? And they're like, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. But that's what I'm trying to show people. There's a different picture. The ontology you should be referencing isn't God. It should be monkey. Right. What is God? Well, ask a monkey. And, you got to be careful, though, because like the problem that the atheist kind of trips up on is when I say that, ask the monkey. I mean, literally any one of them. We're all just as credible as the next guy. Like you could be like 20 IQ. You could be like on the verge of complete catatonic state. Right. Or you could be the most hyper alert individual ever. You're both going to see like a bus coming at you, or like a big fucking rhino or something like that. Like perceptions of what exists. You don't look like chipmunk. I was telling a guy last night, chipmunks can do this. Chipmunks can identify the existence of things and come to conclusions that stuff is real. This is not a big brain monkey task. This is like ants do that. Ants can behave in such a way that correlates to an awareness of their environment and a manipulation of it. Ants can fucking do this, like simple reference reality or not, right? There is a nut there or not. Like squirrels do this all the time on a daily basis, all day long. And people act like this is like a hard task of being able to like identify the existence of stuff. This is one of the most base level tasks you can do is if a squirrel and a squirrel's brain is set up to identify nut and then formulate a plan of what to do with nut, I don't see why anybody thinks that item identification is hard. That's the easy part of the conversation, is just make an observation of it. And I think in our endeavor to shit on each other culturally and bring us the lulls and stuff like that, we don't demand that they bring the nut to the table. We just want to make fun of them for eating nuts. That's it. We just want to shit on somebody for nut stuff, right? But we just say, you don't have to bring the nuts. Just forget the nuts. We don't care if the nut's round or square or big or small. We don't care about that. Let's just get you in the room so we can shit on you for being a nut eater, right? I'm saying, hey, look, you might have fun shitting on somebody for, peanuts and, almonds and stuff like that. That there's I think a more fun conversation to be had, a much more interesting conversation that we could be having. Everyone would just submit to the power and whatnot of Igtheism and, convert peacefully, before shit gets real. Well, I mean, that's I think the elegance of Igtheism, is you've been doing Igtheism like your whole life. You've just been gaslit, to turn away from some ideas. But the method I'm talking about here in Igtheism is the same method you'd use for a dog, right? Is that a dog? Well, I think it's a dog. How do you know it's a dog? Well, I mean, it's got 4 legs. It's got a tail. It's got all the fur, right? You're doing Igtheism there. You're saying what the thing is. You're saying where it is, what it is. You're conveying meaning about it, and you're doing it properly. You're looking at the thing, and you're letting the thing inform your mouth what to say. It's just for whatever reason, people don't expect there to be a God when you begin doing the dog stuff, like the dog. Like it's got a tail, it's got feet and shit, right? When you do it with God, they're just like, oh yeah, you don't need the thing to be there. What do you mean you don't need the thing to be there? They're gaslighting you into believing that it's rational. It's reasonable for the thing to not be there for them to describe the thing. They gaslit you into that shit. They just culturally bullied you and everyone else into just allowing them into the conversation without the dog, without the God. Like it's different. Like I'm supposed to think that an omnimax being can't do what a dog can do just so that we can have a conversation. Fuck you. Right? And another thing, it's like, because they'll be like describing their God as all powerful. Bitch, let's arm wrestle. Let's thumb wrestle. Let's dick wrestle. I don't give a fuck. I will drag a piece of paper across the table using only my fucking nutsack. Let me see the power level of your fucking God. I will use 1% monkey power to effectuate reality. Let me see what your God can do. Let's have a competition, right? They'll say, oh yeah, he's super powerful. But dude, my nipple exerts more force and effect into this fucking reality than a whole ass omni being. So I don't buy that. They're just gaslighting you into accepting that this, right? It all is gaslighting. Every fucking bit of this problem is cultural gaslighting. Like, don't accept it. It loves you. What the fuck observation do you see going on that is indicative of a thing loving me when you can't even show me the thing? Every bit of it is just, every description they give is just cultural gaslighting. Grandma and grandpa gaslit mom and dad are gaslighting you, and it goes on through the fucking generations. A bunch of idiots who know Chinese whispers / telephone is a dog shit methodology. They just can't put 2 and 2 together and realize that the God problem is tens of thousands of years cultural telephone. But they can. When I say it out loud, it's unbelievable how many people agree with all my morsels here of truths and facts and shit, observations and stuff, and then just miss it when it comes all together as the conclusion. They just fucking miss it. Like, no one disagrees with my individual facts like that. I mean, some people do, whatever, there's pushback and stuff, but I'm talking by and large. You say, hey, everything you know about God, you got from being culturally gaslit. And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, information born of gaslighting is just dog shit and you shouldn't use it to reach a valid conclusion. And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, atheism is a conclusion based on bad information from morons. And their brains just fucking blue screen. I'm talking about the God of classical theism. You know how many fucking atheists I've heard say that shit? So annoying. My atheism is a response to the God of classical theism. They always sound just like that. Every time I hear it, my brain, it sounds just fucking like that. I just want to like de-nerd their fucking voice, man. It's like, you're not, though. You're not. You atheists who think they are referring to the God of classical theism almost always are talking about a God that is not a God of classical theism. Almost always. Their atheism, all their videos, everything. When are these fucking atheists making videos and stuff and content and talking about the God of classical theism? When? I don't see these videos. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't videos that talk about the God of classical theism, but when you look at the YouTubes and see what videos the atheists are putting out, what is their content about a God of classical theism? No. Have you ever met somebody that believes in the God of classical theism? I don't think you probably haven't. You probably haven't, right? The predominant religion in the United States worships a God that is not a God of classical theism. The top 3 religions in the United States, none of those worship God of classical theism. Yeah, I'm just, honestly, as I sit here, I'm not aware of a God of classical theism in any mythology. Like, name one, people, the whole world. Anybody listens, send me a message, come at me and tell me what is. Give me an example of a God of classical theism. Maybe some God out of Buddhism or something, I don't know. It damn sure ain't from the Middle East. Ain't none of those gods of classical theism. It's not anything from like anything I've ever heard of Native American beliefs. Indigenous people. These people don't believe in gods of classical theism. It's not like I'm just unaware of a God. What is? Somebody can tell me what a God of classical theism is and give me an example. Well, you don't have to tell me what it is. Just give me an example. They're just not there. Atheists don't talk about gods of classical theism. They talk about gods of, like, say, polytheistic, henotheistic positions. Like, predominantly in the United States, We have in the United States gods of polytheistic, henotheistic origins, gods that are limited, gods that hate, gods that don't know shit, gods that can't bench press some certain kinds of weights, right? I don't know of a god of classical theism. And so it's just gaslighting. Atheists are gaslighting themselves because they don't want to admit that atheism is fucking stupid and a contingent philosophy. Like, you require theists to allow you to think, to have your philosophy, your cute little philosophy of, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe any God exists. I don't believe it. It's like, dude, well, what's God? Well, I typically mean the God of classical. It's like, dude, I want to detard these people so bad, but they're so hostile to just giving up on their atheisms and their theisms. Right now, I'm just talking about the atheists. I don't know who annoys me more, because I judge both the atheists and the theists kind of sort of differently. I look at theists as sort of like the majority of theists are just gaslit, poor saps, right, from whatever. In that group of people, some of them kind of get out of that, and we call them the atheists, the agnostics, and they're kind of lost, and all they have is their former like abusers as an identity, as a sense of identity, and it's sort of sad from that position. So like, I judge the atheists as, and I shouldn't do this, but more on a higher intellectual footing, because when you listen to the atheists, a lot of them will give you reasons why they rejected the gods that offended them in their life, the ones that, touched them on their psychological doll. They have reasonable answers for that. Most of the time you listen to an atheist and you ask them, why don't you believe in Yahweh? They give you good answers. Like, good answer. Why don't you believe in Vishnu? That's a good answer, right? And so I judge them more on an intellectual ground, where I judge theists more on an emotional ground, right? Because they're not, they're generally not intellectualizing. Even though very gross, manipulative people who are smart theists go around, gaslighting their own flock and shit, and teaching them how to be good sheep. It's like, you just don't have a good body of people to make valid conclusions from, which is where I think the atheists are. Is they want valid conclusions, but it's like, you don't get it from atheism. You don't get it from theism. Theism ain't going to teach you fucking shit. Theism teaches you how to culturally malnourish, cognitively malnourish your own child. That's what theism. It teaches you how to be okay with gaslighting your children, right? That's what theism teaches you. I don't really see what there is to learn, and why we need to develop a philosophy that says I'm not that, when that is just incoherent nonsense and so scattered across the playing field that you really don't even know what you're rejecting. But you got smart people on both sides. There's no doubt about that. The theisms have some of their spawn as smart people, and atheists have their group of smart people too. And both sides got fucking dumb people too. Let's be real about that, guys. Let's all come together and admit, for every philosophical position on the topic of the God thing, I hope we can all come together and agree that everybody but Igtheism has dumb people in their flock. I'm only saying that about Igtheism because, for one, we have closed registrations. Pretty much, we don't accept new members. And the barrier for entry is just stupid. It's just stupid high. So obviously, we're the only surviving philosophy anyway, that has maintained a zero dumbass in our ranks portfolio. And I guess a lot of people are just jealous of that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just jealous. Look, there's no particular IQ level required to join Igtheism. I'd say the most important thing is being able to pick out which weapon you're going to use during Igtheist Ragnarok. That's probably the most important aspect, I think. But yeah, in comparison, pretty much every other philosophy on the topic of the God thing, other than Igtheism, it's just dumb as shit. Make-believe, adult baby babble, things like that.
Maybe.
Oh, there's no maybe. I'm there now.
But can you prove I'm not Jesus Christ? No, you can't. So that's equals the same, thing.
Wait, what? Kind of see what I'm talking about, people? This is the shit that we have to put up with on Discord. This
No, it's
right
people
here.
like you, debating all day long. Make some money, Do something with your life, loser.
I am doing something with my life, fucking loser. But that's it right there, just brain dead. That's like 99% of the people that you'll interact with. They're just triggered assholes. They see my room title, which is meant to trigger assholes, but they come in all triggered and shit, acting like it's my fault that I wrote that title that I wrote. That's not my fault, though. Look, I could walk up to a squirrel and be like, yo, fuck you, squirrel. And that squirrel's just going to be like, dude, I'm a squirrel. Why are you cussing out a squirrel, right? And then I'm going to be like, how the fuck am I understanding this squirrel, right? That's going to be fucking weird as shit. I don't know why I said all that, but it's said. Yeah, look, I feel, look, all I can say is if this is the best content you have ever seen, Pat, you got to get out more. There is some good ass shit on the internet. I could give you some videos to shit. You will laugh your ass off. Like just all kinds. There's so many good content creators out there that are putting out shit, man. I get like I'm scratching an itch for you, but I don't know. I'm just spewing the shit that I'm spewing. Enjoy it though, I guess. I've heard me before though, and I have to listen to myself when I edit these videos, and it's a self-hate moment. It is every time. I was saying earlier, I struggle at putting out like any video where I'm like talking to a microphone. Holy shit, I just can't do it. And if I spend too much time listening to myself in these videos, I get really not self-conscious or whatever. I just don't want to put the content out there. So I just had to get through that. I'm just putting it. If you guys can't stand my voice, you know how to hit the mute button. Plus, if you know me, I don't care either. And like I said, look, whether you like this shit or not, I'm putting it out there. Everybody else is putting out their fucking videos and stuff, their content. Some of it I hate, some of it I like. So it's here. You get YouTube to ban me. Get together, get YouTube to ban me. There's probably material you guys could use against me, and I'll have to be like fucking dickheads, force me to go back and edit a bunch of shit. I'll probably end up just deleting whole ass videos if that ever happens. Hey, but that's content. Do it. I'm gonna be making a video of that shit about how the man is trying to take me down, but here I am, right? And you're gonna make a martyr out of me, and then the Igtheist army is gonna rise. Igtheist Ragnarok is gonna come. And it's going to be too late to pick out your fucking weapons, and you're going to delay fucking Ragnarok, and that's going to fucking trigger everyone. But yeah, no, I definitely do appreciate the interaction. I was saying the other day, one of the members that's always coming in here, they go by transsexual 0.5 or numbers 0.5. They're trying to figure it out too, and they're asking a bunch of fucking questions, and a lot of the questions they ask, I don't know. And the cool thing about my brain is most of the time I don't really know what I know. I just know how to like open like a floodgate of my mouth, and shit pours out from like decades of just shoving shit in there. So oftentimes people ask me a question and I have to like kind of figure it out in situ. And I say it like that because I just start talking. I just start saying shit. And most of the time I don't even know what the fuck I'm about to say. It's pretty interesting what I end up saying. I agree with pretty much everything I've heard me say. So that's also interesting how I'm capable of doing that. I just, like, when I say it, like, I just believe it. It's weird. Do you guys have that phenomenon too? Maybe there's something going on with that.
That we don't set off each other's bullshit detectors, yeah.
Hey, Pat, let me ask, have you watched any of the shortened videos? Are those tolerable, or is the editing that I'm not gonna lie, like I do very minimal edit. I don't know how it sounds to other people. I know how it sounds to me, but I don't know if anybody's watched it. Kind of curious. Oh yeah. See, that's the angle. I mean, I have ideas in the back of my head to take some of the conversations that I have out and kind of put them out like 15, 20-minute videos and stuff for people, but I don't know. I just kind of want it to stay real time mostly, where it's just real time interactions. Nothing's prompted, nothing's prepared, just off the cuff commentary and reactions from people. That's generally what we do in here. Well, what I do, I've trained myself to enter a sort of what's called torpor. So when someone's not actively interacting with me in Discord, I can dial my metabolism down to about 99.999%, which allows me to not have to get up and go to the bathroom, eat, sleep, or do any other functions. So at any point in time, you can go on Discord and I will be in that channel staring at the screen. I haven't eaten in, how many hours has it been now? 629 hours, 22 minutes, and 57 seconds. I haven't eaten that long. And the only reason that I was able to consume any kind of sustenance was that Discord had real bad problems. And all of the guest rooms basically crashed. And I wasn't able to maintain conscious awareness on the chat room. Before it went down at we have 600 hours now, but before it went down, we had over 5,000 hours in this chat room. We were the most active because I managed to sit here and stare for 5,000 hours at my screen. I didn't eat, sleep, drink. I participated in no holidays. Yeah, I just stayed in a catatonic torpor-like state for 5,000 hours. So you could always catch me in torpor in my chat room. What's weird though is I have all like these dreamlike states when I'm not in torpor. Like I'll enter torpor, I think, and then boom, I'm having like it's like I'm in a parallel universe where I'm like I am having to do all these things and like work and eat and sleep and go to the bathroom and shower and all that stuff, right? I have all these memories of doing these things, but nope. I'm in a permanent catatonic state on Discord where I never leave at all. So yeah, you can always catch me there if you really want to have like live back and forth. Just set up your Discord and join that link, and you can jump in. Yeah, I was curious about the truncated versions of that to see if that's something people are more interested in than the lives. Because I mean, my lives, they just keep going, you know, because like I said, due to the luxury of being able to enter torpor, I've been able to record these videos for over 12-hour streams, and I have to reset them. But usually nothing happens after the 12 hours because it's like late at night, and I end up deleting that section of it. But a lot of it is dead. Like a 12-hour video gets, like you see them, they'll get down to 2 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Like half the is gone. 60% of the time, it's all the time. You know, I say all that shit about torpor because, like, I have no idea how many people have come into this room and said shit like that last guy said. Like, they actually think that because my account is on Discord, that I am on Discord. It's so crazy. I just have a bot. That's it. It's a bot. But I'm also stealing part of what Piddle's idea was. If I can get the traffic and it not just be morons, I'd like to have it to where it could be like a podcast radio show, you know, people calling it, but it's just too dead for that. It would have to get a lot more active. We'll see if it does that. It does that, but I highly doubt it, especially on this platform, Discord. Politics Discord server is pretty good insofar as all the Discord servers out there. Politics is probably the best in my opinion, but like the level of toxicity on this fucking server is crazy. So I can't really keep people do that, and I don't have like the resources to do like call-in shows and shit like that. But no, Piddle's idea was to just go live and people could just kind of listen to it, tune it in, not anything serious, but just like like old people did with radios, something along those lines.
Interactive podcast.
Yeah, interactive podcast. That'd be cool. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I have some rules in my chat room that I guess a lot of people don't like, and I get it. I wouldn't like those rules either, but they're just rules I've had to come up with to like kind of maintain order and stuff. I mean, it doesn't do anything. You know, it's like one thing. I don't want chat freeloaders. I never did like chat freeloaders because I don't really think you learn if you're just sitting and listening. I think active participation is an integral part of the learning experience. And on a topic like religion, I feel like the less or the fewer people that are in the chat room, the more comfortable. Kind of like a therapeutic setting, you know. If therapy was like you went there and you had like a camera in your face and there's like 13 people sitting around you all observing, you're not going to share the information that you're otherwise normally. So I like to keep the room kind of free of the riffraff, if you will, minimize the amount of people that come into the room, because I like to have that personal one-on-one kind of conversation. But too many people, they just want to sit and listen, and I think it's kind of unethical to want to just sit and listen. It's one thing to sit and listen and wait your turn, like be in line and queue to get in there, but if you just get off on watching someone get their deeply held beliefs shit on, that's not this channel, that's not this room, that's not anything to do with what I'm involved in doing. Even though I sound toxic and hateful and all that stuff, that's because of the environment, and that's because of my history of dealing with these people, and my attitudes have shifted in a way that seems toxic and hateful and stuff like that. And it is. I am toxic and hateful to a certain class of people. So that comes out a lot, but I also recognize that, the people I'm after are the people who want help. And I feel like the people who don't want to participate, they don't want help. They don't feel like they're being gaslit. They don't feel like they're being lied to and things like that. And they don't want someone to get inside their brain and start rooting around and trying to deconstruct what's going on inside there, because it's a messy endeavor for a lot of people, and they're uncomfortable. So yeah, there are therapeutic parallels, and I know I'm kind of hinting on that, but this is not therapy. This should be, if done right, something that causes you to get therapy, right? It's something to open your eyes to the abuse that's happening to you, and want to make a change in your own mind for the better. So this isn't therapy. This is just sort of the stage of therapy where someone's trying to say to you, hey, your husband's an abuser, or your wife is, right, you're being abused. I'm not here to therapeutically help you recover from that. Just get you to realize that that's what's happening. Now, if what I have to say and convey is therapeutic, that's fine, but I am not offering any therapy. I distance myself from emotional attachments with people I interact with for similar reasons, because I know what my deconstruction was like, and it was a very emotional and turbulent time. My life's never not been emotional and turbulent, but for me specifically, I was a believer like anybody else, and my transition from my former beliefs to where I believe now left me in dire straits for a while. It wasn't a good and comfortable thing, right? It hurt, but it needed to be done, right? I had my worldview crushed, and I just don't feel comfortable. Even though I know there's nothing I could do about it, people are going to listen, people are going to get whatever enjoyment they get. I don't want to foster that attitude. So I don't want people just coming in and just like sitting there and listening and shit. But I have been telling them ever since I started streaming, if you want to chat freeload, do it on my YouTube. Go to YouTube. I stream live. You can chat freeload there, and you could do it in secrecy. All I know is how many people are watching the stream. I have no idea who's watching the stream unless you guys. You want to get off on me shitting on somebody's worldview because you think that's funny, I can't stop you, but I never thought it's really funny. It gets funny. There are funny moments and shit like that, but for me, it always is serious, and I guess you could say I make the best of it when I find out that the person that I'm talking to is just a shitbag. They don't want my help. It's clearly in my mission statement. It's at the top of my chat room. It's my mission statement. It tells people like straight up, this is not a debate room, stuff like that. But most people don't fucking read this shit, so they just come in, act fucking stupid, and they think that we're just a debate room in here screaming at people, and it's not. I don't want that. I really don't want much pushback. You could think about this as like the Church of Igtheism, right? Like, would the Catholics let you go in there and start preaching Islam? No, they wouldn't. I don't let people come in here and start preaching their nonsense. You're allowed to come in here and like assert the stuff so that we can set the stage, but my goal is to teach people Igtheism the way that I understand it, not so that they adopt any of the techniques, rules, or any of that shit, but so that they they can incorporate the memes into their own
arsenal, right? That's really the goal there. Look at this shit. Look at this shit I gotta put up with. Somebody goes in here and fucking, who did this? It tells me their names. Let's see. You motherfucker. Chudweiser and Shigo. I know who Shigo is. Who's this? Yep, Chudweiser. Motherfucker. Yeah, and then Anus. You sons of bitches. But yeah, I mean, that's my goal here, is to preach the gospel of Igtheism, so that Igtheist Ragnarok can happen before I die. You know, I'm just getting older now. I probably got a good 15, maybe 20 years if I stretch it out a fight in me. But yeah, we just need people with beliefs to spew, and then I can attempt to shit on it. Everybody can learn. Smart people can learn what dumb people do. Dumb people can learn what smart people do. There's some in it for everybody. Because I know I walk a weird line. Like, I know I have, like, a shitload of information in my brain. I'm a fairly intelligent person. But because of my life history, I am such an ignorant, unprofessional fucking person that, you know, there's a little bit in here for everybody. But I got, like, that hit and miss intelligence. Like, you could show me some stuff, do, like, some intelligence tasks. I fail miserably. Just like, I know I'll break it. That's what I'll do. I'll get mad and break it. I'm pretty immature. I can't hide that. That's just true. If you are not an immature person, you're gonna fucking hate me. That is a threat right there. That's not a warning. It's not a that is a threat. Right. I had to amp myself up for like months and convince myself that it will be okay, that that you cannot rage out on people enough to follow YouTube's terms of service. I think I am prepared for the most part. We'll see. We'll definitely. So far, I've got no strikes, so that's dope. Oh no, I wear ethical misanthropy on my sleeve, so that's not prying. So misanthropy is a hatred of humanity. General hatred of humanity, and ethical misanthropy is that for ethical reasons. So that because I believe I'm an ethical person, and I evaluate my own species as being unethical, that we are the most unethical, that we are a grotesque, morbidly grotesque species. We eat our own babies, we rape them, we murder them, we do this not just to our babies, we do it to fucking animals. We're just disgusting. Like, if you really look at humanity, we should be defining ourselves by our worst attributes. That's how everybody should be defined, is by your worst attributes. And when you just look at fucking humans, man, like, we are just the worst. You know, I always tell people, because look, I'm not here to be anybody's fucking friend. I'm not your friend. I'm never going to be your friend. I fucking hate you. That's just all there is to it. But bridging the gap, because I am a human, I'm so fucking sick and tired of how toxic we are as a species. Like, that's what ethical misanthropy is talking about, is that at some point we have to come to terms with what we are and do something about it. But, you know, everybody on YouTube right now is using electricity that comes from fossil fuels that are wrecking the environment. And I always use the example of causing some African baby to drink petroleum water. So if you're listening to me on YouTube right now, it's because you're actively making African babies drink petroleum water. None of us are ethical, especially people from more developed worlds. We're extremely unethical. The amount of damage that a developed world or developed nation does to the environment and to other humans around them is like, it's grotesque, right? I'd say it's immeasurable, but nerds are out there measuring all of the fucking harm. We've got, you know, that Pacific trash pit. We've got, you know, animals dying off. We've got us dying off. You know, every fucking cell in our body's got microplastics and shit. Like, we're just absolutely wreaking fucking havoc on everything about it around us with abandon, and none of us give a shit. None of us. We're all just trudging along with our heads down, and we're acting like none of us are doing it. And, you know, those of us who are seeing the problem, we're just oversaturated with the bad.
It seems like a lost cause to most of us. Just look at the general attitude of Americans, right? We're just becoming all disenfranchised and miserable. We're hating our nation and shit. None of us are proud of it anymore. Patriotism's all. It's just because of the way humans are. It literally is. The question: why can't we all just get along? Yeah. If you're young, that's such a great question, because it seems so fucking simple. Just sit down and shut up. Quit freaking out. Like, settle down, right? Like, it's what the kids are told, and that's what they do, and they do it, and life goes on. But you look at humanity from a more adult eyes, and you have a different perspective. And I think just at a certain point in everybody's life, you kind of get past the honeymoon phase of your own species and stuff, and you become more cynical or whatever. And I'm just an example of somebody who just became so cynical. I just started hating my own just realizing how disgusting humanity is, and how we should be all ashamed of ourselves, but we're not, because we gaslight each other into believing that our behaviors are normal. It's what you got to do, right? You have to get up and go do these things and make the wheels turn, and cause all these horrific things to occur. We're all sitting here. If you're listening to this, you're probably listening to it in the comfort of your own house. There's people in fucking Iran right now getting, and I mean Americans too, getting killed for stupid shit, just fucking stupid shit happening. It's like we sit back in America, we look at the problem, we're like, why is nothing being done about it? We got a pedophile in the fucking office protecting pedophiles, right? We got a whole fucking army of the elite, just literal child fuckers. And what are we doing? Nothing. Entertaining ourselves on fucking YouTube. So, you could say it's like I just kind of lost all hope once I realized that the problem is us. We are a fucking problem, and we just got our heads buried in the sand with all these attitudes of like, oh, we're good people. There's good in us. It's like, whatever. I just don't even care to have the discussion about how good humanity is anymore, because for every one thing you could say is great about humans, I could give you a billion things that says why we're not. So I can't persist in the delusion that my species is ethical and worthy of existence. I think the ethical thing, and hear me out on this, the ethical thing would be for humanity to just die out. That would be the ethical thing. However, I'm a human supremacist. So this is our planet. This is our shit. Yeah, we're toxic fucking assholes, but that's just what we are. And so I'm of two minds of that. I'm an ethical person that realizes that my culture raised me to be the kind of person that I am. I didn't raise myself, right? I interacted with people, and my interaction with people forged the type of personality I have. Your personality came by way of the same thing. You were born into a household. Your interactions led you to be the type of person. This world us humans live in ensures the kind of friction and shit that's going on. So that's the nature of my ethical misanthropy, is an acknowledgement that the human species is currently in a stage of its development where we are learning, but we're still not good enough. We've got a long way to go. And by long way, I mean probably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of human years of evolution until we have changed more. I don't know if it's going to be for the better or for the worse, but you look at anthropological studies about like how big our groups should be, and they say if we look at the other monkeys that we should be in groups of about 200 people, and because we're in the type of groups that we're in, where you go out into society, you're going to interact with a lot more than 200 people. 200 people, I mean, I don't have a very big social network. I got about 5 people in my social network, but the average normal human being that is, misanthropic, antisocial piece of shit, is going to have a lot of people in their fucking life. They're going to have 50, 60 people in their life, which means that their ability to extend their moral decisions and stuff beyond that is extremely limited. So, like, to put it into context, let's say I was normal and I go out into my city. Let's say my city's of 200,000 people. I can only relate with like less than 1% of them. Like my brain's ability to form empathetic bonds stops at like 0.001% of my population. So obviously I'm going to be around and interacting with people that I don't care about, that my brain is incapable of caring about. And this is the problem, is because when we are interacting with people, they either promote our own mental health or demote our own mental health, right? There's stressors that the people on us, around us, put on us. And typically, when people put negative stressors on us and they're in our in-group, it's not so bad because we're getting a lot of positive stuff from them too, right? We have a relationship, a long-term relationship, and these, say your best friend does some really bad shit, you're more likely to forgive your best friend for the bad shit than you are a perfect fucking stranger and it's the first time you ever met him and they did the bad shit. Probably never going to forgive that person. And these in-group morality, out-group hostility dynamics sort of act for us and against us, right? They allow us to go out into public where we're surrounded by a bunch of people that are strangers to us. And whenever they do negative things to us, that's all the information we have about them. And they kind of become this negative person, even though this person has a whole ass life and your one little 10-second fucking interaction with them is nothing. That's enough to build in a monkey's brain a bias against them based on that initial interaction. And if you're an intelligent person, you would recognize that that's bad. Everybody fucks up. Everybody does shit that's outside of their character. And if you're caught doing it when that happens, you'll become the bad guy too. But man, our species just doesn't really care about that. We will latch onto that kind of shit like fucking parasites and ruin relationships and all that stuff because it's critical for our survival. This is a threat to us. So we've learned to identify and put weight on threats more than things that are not threats to us. And unfortunately, when people do good things to us, it kind of just goes under the radar. It's sort of meeting our social expectations. But when we have the social expectation of like no violence, no problems, shit like that, people do it to us, we overly criticize or weight the negative response to society. And it's not an unhealthy thing. It's just an aspect of us as a social animal. And until we can get to a point where we have empathetic responses to like the majority of people around us, which is a huge ask. Like our brains are already big enough. We would have to be like wheelbarrowing our heads if we were carrying around enough neurocomputational capacity to hold on to a high empathetic response to the majority of people around you. And so we're kind of at this imbalance in society, is that we're outbreeding our ability to maintain the population at a range that allows for social cohesion. We're promoting social discord by interacting with so many strangers. Interacting with strangers is not good for your psychology in that way, because you're always amped up and at a higher alert state when you're around strangers. Like typically, I'm sure there's like weird fucking like people out there that would be disagreeing with me, but the general person is more on guard around strangers than they are around people they know and are familiar with. So whenever we engage in cultural actions like that, we are taxing our ability to empathetically respond. So we're just setting ourselves up for disaster by constantly interacting on a social level with strangers. We should be interacting with people that we love and care about so that the stress factors go down and our benefit factors go up. The benefits of social interactions and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a weird dynamic situation, and we are so far ahead of the population curve that there really is no reasonable ethical solution for overpopulation of the magnitude. Like, think about it. If your social group should only be about 200 and you look around at a city that's got 200,000, the problem is overpopulation and oversaturation of our social brains, the social side. So there's just a lot of reason to be an ethical misanthrope. And it really is just an ethical concession rather than a behavior. It's not like because I'm an ethical misanthrope, I go around treating humans like shit. That is a very young-minded perspective about what misanthropy even is. Ethical misanthropy is just like I said, a hatred for humanity because we are an unethical species. So typically, a person who is an ethical misanthrope is not a bad person. They're generally a good person who has become an asshole because they have just watched society melt around them, and there's nothing they can do about it. So they just feel, impotent, weak, and they're discontent with how society is. And the thing is, most people relate to ethical misanthropes. They just don't take it to that degree. I guarantee anybody listening to the things that I was just saying was kind of relating to everything, being like, yeah, that's fucked up. That is fucked up too. That's another aspect of society that's fucked up. We are overpopulating. We are doing, but to come to the conclusion that you should hate humans on ethical grounds is just something that a lot of humans don't do. They don't judge humans like that for whatever. Would this be the reason people think that you have a very good attachment with animals? Are animals more moral and kind of right in mind? Does that mean we would have been better, dumber? Yeah, I don't know. I think people like animals because we could be calmer around them. We don't have to have the same guards up, around our pets as we do with people. We can be more open around them. I mean, we shit and have sex around animals. It's sort of like they're kind of features or something. So I don't really know where the ethics of that all is. I mean, people say having a pet in general is an unethical thing. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but again, I'm not a moral expert, so maybe it is unethical to have a pet. But I don't feel like it is. I don't think we would be better, dumber. I think no. Like I said, I may be an ethical misanthrope, but I'm also a human supremacist. So I'm looking at our species in sort of a transitionary phase from climbing down out of the trees and into the machines, and we're kind of like halfway into the machines. We're not fully deprimitivized, if that's a word. No, what is the word for what do you do with fucking tame? We're not fully tame. We're not fully domesticated. We haven't fully domesticated ourselves. We're still wild animals at heart. And I think a lot of us buy into domestication of human beings, domesticating ourselves. But we're just not like biologically and socially ready for it. Cooperation is still a hostile word in human vernacular. It's one of the most hostile words I think there is in the human language is cooperation. If you really think about it, like deeply. But no, I love talking about ethical misanthropy because I love teaching people that they should loathe humanity. Because, look at it. Like, why do we hate? If you ask a normal person who is gaslit by culture, they'll tell you hate is like this negative emotion. I think hate is a positive emotion if you think about it. Hate is what happens to you when the shit you love gets fucked with. That's what hate is, right? Hate is what you employ when you need to fuck shit up because people are harming or threatening what you love, right? So hate is good. Without hate, you won't protect, right? Without hate, there is no love. Love is just another aspect of the same emotion as hate, right? Hate is just raw. It's not logical. It's not, it's not passive and peaceful, right? And these feel like two opposite ends of a spectrum, especially like when you're gaslit by people that don't like hate and what hate can do for you. Anger, rage, frustration. Every single fucking person on this planet has felt anger, rage, and frustration and hate emotions. Every single fucking person. So we shouldn't teach hate as a bad thing, as anger as a bad thing. We should teach how to use it properly. What should you hate? We're a hateful species. Let's fucking let the hate flow through us, right? Don't stop it. Let it flow, right? It's like when you try to stop the hate and block it off, it builds up, right? It becomes explosive. If you just let the hate flow through you and stop trying to hold on to that shit and focus on it so much and just use it for what it's for. But yeah, I mean, from birth, they Disney Channel fucking just starts gaslighting you immediately. to ignore hate, and that just breeds passivity, right? If you're not a hateful person, if you're not going to get triggered when somebody pokes you, they're going to poke you. You're going to live in a world where everybody wants to poke you. The only way you're going to keep people from poking you is to stop them. And you're not going to do that with love. People don't fucking respond well to that shit. They don't respond. If they want to poke you and you get all lovey with them, they'll poke you harder. They'll poke you more. They'll poke you when you don't want to be poked now, right? They'll just poke you all the fucking time, right? The only way to get people to not poke you is to hate. It's to draw on hate, anger, rage, frustration, right? Show them, you poke me, motherfucker, I will bite, right? But you're not doing that for a bad thing. That's a good thing. And it's just been characterized as this bad thing. They want you passive. They don't want you hateful, right? They don't want you to hate that some little African baby's drinking petroleum water so that you can be on the internet and enjoy conversations. They don't want you hating that the most powerful man on the planet fucks children, is in the highest, seat. They don't want you hating that shit. They want you just sitting there, entertained, scrolling through fucking YouTube shorts. That's what they want, because that's how they poke you. That's how they get away with poking you in places you don't want to be poked, right? That's what's happening. You got flock cameras everywhere. They're going to be putting them up in your fucking assholes pretty soon. So, look, it ain't never going back the way it was. I remember pre 9/11. It's post 9/11. Shit's fucked. It's always getting more fucked. It's just going to get more and more and more and more fucked. Name one time shit got less fucked. When was the last time your government unfucked some shit? Name it. You can't find it, American. Fuck you, right? If you're still thinking about it, you're a traitor. You're a traitor to your fucking kind. I don't care if you're a traitor to your America or not, but you're a traitor to your fucking kind. If you had to think that hard for something good about your country, it's because you're a fucking traitor and you're still trying to look for it, right? You got to get up. You got to talk to people. You got to convince them. You got to compel them. But what is America doing? It's like, even me right now, all we're fucking doing is crying like little bitches about it. Nobody is doing shit. We got fucking Schumer up there writing strongly fucking worded letters to pedophiles, to child fuckers. But yeah, it's like, some fucking idiot tells me to stop hating shit. You hate shit too much. It's like, motherfucker, you don't hate shit enough. And that's why I'm hating so goddamn much, because I feel like if the world would take on a little bit more of that burden and start hating some fucking shit, we could have a better world. But you fucking non-hateful pussies want to sit there and let the fucking government poke you wherever the fuck they want. Guess what? They're poking me too. So, all I can say is the shit ain't never gotten better. Not in my 45 fucking years. Not in my 45 years has a single goddamn thing in this fucking shithole gotten better. And dads say all that shit and still be an American nationalist. That's why I fucking hate my countrymen right now. Fuck all Americans. All of them. Ones that agree with me, fuck you on principle. Now just like and subscribe. Yeah, I think it's bad to kill people. I think any act of violence is inherently bad. Doesn't matter. If you're defending yourself. If I have to take that Glock and kill a motherfucker trying to kill me, that's bad as fuck. That's like the worst thing ever. That's bad. Like, there ain't nothing good about that shit. Nothing. There's not a good aspect of it. I got burn powder on my hand. I'm down ammo. Dude's bleeding out, all fucking dead, probably ruining shit. His family's freaking out. Ain't it like nothing good came out of that at all? Even any amount of pleasure I would have gotten from a situation like that with my shower thought is bad. The fact that I think, yeah, I'm gonna kill a motherfucker if he fucks, that's bad. I shouldn't be thinking that, right? I should be a good monkey thinking, oh man, that's bad, right? It is bad. Will I fucking do it? You're goddamn right, because I'm a hate-filled motherfucker that loves shit, right? So don't fuck with me. Leave me alone. Not like that anyway. Like in public, all that kind of crazy shit. Like, dude, you fuck with me. Just like, don't force me to kill you, because I'll kill you without hesitation. Like that's just, I don't want to. It's bad. It is definitely bad that we live in a country where people like me have guns, right? And we walk around the fucking street, right? That's not great that we have to do that. Where does it end? Do we get flamethrowers? What if I need what if 90 of you fucking people come at me at one time? I need a flamethrower. So, yeah, it's bad. Definitely bad. We should not be like this. Just look at us. Like, if you're an alien, you rolled up on Earth, you'd be like, whoa, holy shit, right? It's like clear. It's bad. Definitely bad. Yeah, should not be killing people. You just kind of feel it in your bones, right? That shit's bad. It's not rocket engineering. It's not tree surgery or nothing, dude. It's literally the baddest shit you can do is kill them. Like that's literally the worst. But, people would argue torture and all that. Yeah, there's an argument there, but look, it's possible. It is distantly possible to get over torture. There is a therapy out there that can help a person, maybe one or two, and they can live a decent life after torture. You cannot live a decent life after kill, right? Like once you're killed, that's it. Doesn't matter, you're dead. So, and it don't matter if you were tortured before death or tortured during life or what, none of that. You're dead. It's over. It's like the end game, right? So, yeah, I think if a person can't intuit that it's bad, that there's something wrong with their brain, because understanding that killing something is bad is an emotional response to chemicals and interactions in the brain. Where it gets muddied is when we start asking, like, who are we allowed to kill? Who are we not allowed to kill? That's when it gets kind of muddied. But I think everybody does generally lean towards that killing, whether you needed to or not, is bad, especially the people that have killed and they're normal, like soldiers and shit. Most of those guys will tell you this shit's super fucked, and it causes like lots of PTSD. Yeah, it's definitely bad. Yeah, and that's the importance and why I use the language that I do to try to convince people that what they're doing is harmful. When I talk about inculcation, look, I can't go after your kids, right? It is your kids that I'm trying to help, but I can't go after your kids for a lot of reasons. Not just because this that. It's just because, for one, your kids are too dumb for me to even want to go after and have no idea what's going on, and they would just be confused and scared. But if I go after the adults, who will then in turn go after their own children, I think that's better. If I can convince an adult, especially a breeder, that inculcating their children in a certain way is bad, then maybe they won't inculcate their children in that way. So if I could just talk about the process of inculcation in the appropriate manner out loud, and hopefully people will see that, hey, they're doing that to their own kids, and then they'll stop without us having. But oftentimes we do, when we're doing things that are bad, we don't even know they're fucking bad. If you rewind the clock back to the 80s or something like that, getting your ass beat in the 80s was just like the 80s, right? That's just what happened in the 80s. It was either your parents whipped your ass, or your friends whipped your ass, or some stranger whipped your ass. Like, just a lot of ass whipping, like, growing up in the 80s. Nowadays, you bump elbows with someone on a train, and that's fucking battery, right? So shit, I'm obviously exaggerating to illustrate the issue there, but when somebody grows up and becomes a murderer, it's not like they did that. And for us to blame that one individual, it just, you don't understand the problem. When a kid turns out right, the village loves taking credit, right? They do. They love, yeah, that's me. I remember teaching them how to do that. Right? We all love taking credit for the villager is successful. But when they grow up to be a psychopathic murder, rape, and cannibal or something like that, yeah, the village just doesn't want to take any credit for that at all, in any way, shape, or form. And when you start looking at like antisocial disorders and stuff like that, you start asking, why are people antisocial? You see, it's the way society generally treats them, right? They're weird. Society didn't like it, so they ostracized them, and so the person became antisocial, right? This is everybody. You bully a kid, it happens. If kids are witness to bully, it happens. Like, dude, look, we're sensitive little snowflakes when we're young, right? This is why we're not allowed to use certain words around kids. They're impressionable young minds and stuff. They pick up a lot of information. But then we pretend that they're these super resilient little things that can handle all the stuff we throw at them and shit. Dude, we are deluded as fuck, right? The way that we think, the way our culture operates and shit, the way we think it's just okay to tell our children all these fucking lies because it'll make them feel better about a thing that we're already impregnating their brain with that makes them feel bad. It's like literally Christians will look at their children in the fucking eyes and they will say, you are a useless, valueless sack of fucking shit that deserves nothing but eternal torture if it wasn't for that picture of that man on that wall that you will never meet. Millions of American children are told this on a daily basis, that their lives mean nothing, that you are nothing but a sore pain in the ass on fucking existence. You are a scourge on existence itself. They're told this. Watch Jesus Camp, right? They're told this. They're gaslit into believing that they have no value, that all they're good for is being an example of what to torture, unless you believe in that man on the wall that you will never meet. What kind of psychological fucking damage do you people think this idea that you are telling your own children is doing to that young mind? Give me your child. What do you think? What kind of psychological harm do you think this mouth is capable of doing to your child? If you think giving me unfettered access to your child's brain to do with it as I fucking please is a bad idea, then what do you think you're fucking doing? You're doing the same goddamn thing. It's just your kid, right? Making it your kid doesn't make you the world's foremost expert on how to raise a fucking child, right? But we get this deluded fucking state in our minds that it's my kid, therefore I'm the leading expert on all religions and this one deserves to be gaslit in this fucking way. That's horrible. That idea, that mentality that's out there in every fucking household around me right now is disgusting. That parents think that they have that right. No, you don't have the right to gaslight your children in whatever bullshit fucking world you want them to believe in. And I say this because you're going to unleash that motherfucker. When he turns 18 or she turns 18, you're going to unleash that little motherfucker on me. They're going to become an adult and they're going to be subject to my mouth, right? That's what's going to happen. You're setting them up for fucking disaster, right? Because I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people out there that don't agree with your dumbass fucking worldview and your stupid familial beliefs and shit. And you're releasing your child out into the world where they're going to butt heads with people like me who disagree with them. And they're going to butt heads to the point that they're going to start looking at you and asking, why did you gaslight them? Because I'm not going to fucking lie to them. I'm going to give them information that's true, reasonable, articulated to a point. You know, they're going to get that information from people like me, and then they're going to fucking look at you, and they're going to ask you, why the fuck did you lie to me? Because they're going to figure it out like you did. So I don't understand why so many people think it's okay to gaslight their children in this way, which is cognitive malnourishment. This is exactly what it is. You should be setting your child up for success. You should not be teaching your child that it's a worthless piece of shit. You should not be teaching your child that it was born all fucked up. That's not right. That is horrible. But man, do you know how many people say it with a fucking smile on their face? It makes me disgusted. But that's just our species. That's what we do. That's what it's like to be down here and one of us, right? That's
Prove
what
it.
it's like.
Prove it. Are you going to prove it? Are you going to prove it? I'm retarded. That's all I can say. Prove it. Prove it. Are you going to prove it? Prove it. Prove it. Stupid nigger. That's all you can do.
That's Discord right there, people.
Nothing, just a racist piece of shit on this fucking platform that will do nothing about it. Look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send a no, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna do my part on my end with Politics Discord. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, you're such a fucking hypocrite. You're so pathetic. Like, that's what you used to do to people. Why?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yep, see you next time.
Yeah, I just took a screenshot of your buddy's name, Piddle Linus. He's not fooling anybody. That's very problematic. Like, what makes a grown man want to name himself Piddle Linus?
Did I miss the power hour? Mod abuse, mod abuse.
Why did some salty people return?
Wow.
You guys made me smoke a bunch of weed because of this mod abuse in this room.
I hate
Right,
the fucking mods in this room, dude.
Yeah, me
They're-
too, man.
They're all dicks.
That and they over moderate. They reach out too far. Right, Abu? Abu? Hanjar, are you there? Bro, is this bro typing? Like, can they not talk in the voice chat?
Yo, Abu, what's going on with you, man?
It shows here you're not muted, or server muted, or blocked.
Oh no, he's one of the bottom people. He's an initiate.
No, like, you're new to the server, so you don't have rights.
Yeah, you're in the guest room section, and when you're new, doesn't let initiates like talk sometimes. If we had a moderator in the room who's not here right now, they could unmute you, but you're server muted. We didn't. You can see it
Yeah.
in side chat. It says movie listen only. See it? I don't know. Can you see the politics bot message there?
I can see it, but I don't know if Abu can.
Yeah, you just need to build a little activity on the server. It just takes a day or two. Just so people don't make a bot and immediately flood the place. So you just need to give a little activity. So maybe just go to the text chats or whatnot.
I think you have rights in the main chat too, in the actual main chat up top.
So I might indicate you to the sticky rules in the side chat. And they say that chat freeloading is not allowed in this room.
Yeah, if you want to chat preload, you can go to my live channel where you could watch everything that happens in this channel for free. And there's
There's a text ability on that part of it because you're not chat freeloading in here.
Yeah, there's YouTube nerds in there that'll talk to you sometimes. Well, there's nobody in there right now, but well, there's one person in here. I don't know who they're being sneaky. So
They're recording your stuff to post later.
hey, I'm down with memetics. If anybody wants to listen to my shit, hey, that's listen at your own risk.
Dude, I mean if you look up the shit that you say, right? Like it coincides with how things are.
That's how I feel about it.
Like I have yet to hear you say something that isn't the way it actually is.
Well, there was
Except
this,
for colors.
there was
except
this
for colors.
one time. No, I get shit wrong all the time because I ain't a nerd, but I just don't care if I'm wrong. Like you correct me, it's whatever. Like if I'm actually wrong, but I can like feel it in my brain when I'm not sure. Like I can feel it. It's just like it's like a low vibration, like pulse. Sense it. No, I can just tell when I'm not sure. It's not like a superpower.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know when I don't know some shit. You know,
Like I think if you listen closely, you could tell how sure I am by how much blame I'm putting on nerds, right?
yeah,
Like
that is another metric that I'm trying to figure out too.
Yeah, if I'm blaming the nerds a lot about shit, then I don't know, right? I don't have the confidence to know whether that shit's true. But if I keep saying shit like that, hey, that's just what the nerds are saying. That's me saying I don't fucking know, but that's just what I heard. But I get my shit from the nerds, like Ground Zero. So
You've seen a nerd battle before when it comes to those research papers and stuff.
I mean, I've participated in nerd battles, dude.
Yep, that God, just seeing how the two logics like unlogic each other. It's amazing.
No, it's cool. Like one one of my nerd battles was called Unknown. It's just called your unknown, right? You're given a contaminated substance, like some kind of juice. I forget what kind of juice, but it had 3 different bacterias in it, and you had to like do all these experiments on your samples and figure out what 3 bacteria the prime nerd your teacher gave you. And it's pretty cool how you can do all these things to bacteria and they respond differently, and the way they respond allow you to begin like categorizing it and putting it into a type. And that it's interesting that you could do that because in like pathophysiology and shit and virology, immunology, and all the ologies can use that information to combat. You know, you come in all infected and shit, they put your juices through a squirt device and figure out what's wrong with you and then give you the proper antibiotics that like fuck up that bacteria specifically, because not all antibiotics work on all the bacterias. You know, like there's betters and worses shit. So it's cool. They call it a dichotomous solution, but it's just like the nerds, you know, they just figured out the bacteria by playing with it and doing stuff. And, you know, they respond there. They're in groups. They have categories like, I'm trying to remember. It has to do with the cell wall on certain bacteria that have a, what is it, dude? It's in there in my brain. Like I could feel it in there. Is it a G proteins or some shit like that in the cell walls that, I think it's a dye. You put a dye and it binds with the protein that's in the cell wall, and it allows you to figure out if this organism has like a really rigorous cell wall, and then you use like certain chemicals or whatever to kill it. But that's how you figure it out, you know? You got to put it all up. It was pretty fun. But yeah, it was a nerd battle. I took on like, I don't know, like 60 people. It wasn't like a winner though. It was pass fail. I got to torture some kind of worm. You give this worm some caffeine, and you can see all of its body parts inside go all crazy.
Interesting. I think there's very few things that don't react to caffeine.
Yeah, what is it? I forget exactly what it does, but like caffeine, I think it lowers the energy cost for action potential. I think is what it does. It makes it easier for your brain to fire.
Man, I could not do caffeine at all, man. That shit, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I think I'm burnt out on caffeine. Like I drink caffeine so much.
Yeah, I haven't had a Coke or a cup of coffee or soda in probably going on 7 months now. So
I really like it in like low doses, but I haven't had any in like a week or two.
you think tea once a week is sufficient caffeine?
I guess it depends on what kind of tea, but I guess tea doesn't in general have a lot of caffeine. Even like black.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have English.
for tea it
Grey or
has
whatever.
more. Yeah, Earl. Yeah, I mean it's a mild shit. It's not like coffee.
Black tea is comparable. It's like a third, maybe.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean
a fifth or a third of a cup of coffee.
it's up. It's definitely got caffeine in it. It's just, you know, people tell you, oh, drink black tea. It's like, yeah, it's got more, but it's still not coffee. It's different. But yeah, black tea's got the most caffeine, I guess, of all. I wonder if you could like hyper concentrate, like dehydrate tea or something. Is that possible?
Well,
Do
you
they
can
make that?
Easily. Yeah.
brew
You could
multiple
concentrate
bags.
it.
Yeah, in a small amount of water. It's the amount of water you use, and then you can strain it and like press it out, all the juices out of the tea. So yeah, you can do
So
that.
do they make like black tea espresso or something?
If you want it. I
wonder what
did
that
make it.
tastes like.
I tried it.
Is it nasty?
It's not that. I mean, it kind of burns the leaves. Like at that temperature, it kind of damages the like anything you wanted out of like the tea flavonols is not a thing anymore. Whereas the cocoa flavonols are rather more resistant.
I kind of meant like making high caffeine black tea, then like dehydrating it down so that the concentration is high, and then doing it that way.
I gotta look into that.
Honestly, I don't think I've done it that meticulously. It's like there's a lot of juggling you have to do with tannins that I don't think most people do.
Well, I mean, you could distill it, couldn't you? You could you could probably just distill the tea until it's concentrated and do like
But it kind
shot.
of defeats the purpose a little bit.
I know it's a different kind of caffeine between coffee and tea. I know caffeine's caffeine, but it's like there's different stuff in the coffee and different stuff in the tea, and the caffeine is like bound to those things. It's like I said, I'm not a nerd about it.
How is that not what like you would want to that you're concentrating? That's what I'm trying to do, is so that you don't have to drink like times the amount of liquid to get the caffeine. You just do like a shot.
Wait. Well, that's what I mean. I want the
kind of the
flavor
selling-
without the caffeine.
It's kind of the tea selling point, though. Like hydrate you.
Nah, dude, I'm thinking like a tea sludge. Like
What they'll
like-
do is that they sell like the powdered stuff. You can get like green tea extract, so they'll like dehydrate the tea leaf. So there's like less stuff you need to put in to get the effect, I guess. They do that. So it is stronger.
Oh shit. Got a new subscriber.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, I saw.
That's no win if it's on the inside.
It's a fucking win. What are you talking about? That's what does that do? That does algorithmic shit, dude. It spreads the meme. Did you guys
Is
see?
that a 1.3% increase? Let's go.
Did you see the AI image that the robot made me? I have it in my videos.
The thumbnail thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, if you go to like click on my videos tab, it's the one that I've been using on all the videos.
Sure.
Not the live.
Yeah, I got the little crew and the tetrahedron.
Yeah, they're all like standing around trying to like manifest the ontology. They're building their super organism. YouTube's AI is pretty cool.
The one, the image that would come to mind for me is the guy in the alley with the trench coat and he's got the goods.
Yeah.
Like, let me add a little extra.
All right, I'm gonna go watch Disclosure Day.
It's never the woman with the trench coat, now that I think about it. If I make a movie, I'll do that. God exists in reality?
Yes, I do.
Can you demonstrate said God?
Yes. Do you know about the Baha'i religion?
Baha'i?
Yes. Do you know about that?
Spell that for me.
Bahai.
That's an interesting.
Yes. It's the fourth Abrahamic religion.
Have you heard of Can You Prove Itism?
That's an interesting.
So,
It's the truth. Okay.
on what grounds?
On every ground there is.
Dude, are you trolling?
No, I'm not. It's the truth. and
Like,
every
can you
single
start
way.
giving us
That's-
meaningful answers?
That sounded wishfully poetic more than something serious.
It's the truth. Okay. So when you guys go to the hellfire, once you all die,
Yeah, what?
So,
Like, I don't know. Did you think my question about you being a troll was like non-rhetorical? It was just a warning. That's all it was. Like, I was on to you. I was just saying, hey, I'm on to your trolling. So if you don't stop, I'm gonna mute you. Because you're a fucking child, right? Because there's a dude that comes in here. What's his name? Well, he hasn't been here in a while because I'm a dick. He is Baha'i, and he's serious about Baha'i, and you're not. So shut your bitch fucking mouth.
What dude is that? Who are you referring to?
I'm trying. My brain is just not cooperating today. He was really annoying because he was like really nice, and he always tried to. He just had this really like laissez-faire attitude.
is this a recent individual?
Within the last year, yeah.
Is it that guy with the purple icon and all the symbols?
Colors. I think he has two names in one. It's like somebody something, something like that.
Like apostrophes and stuff like that?
No, just two-word name.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Let me see.
Yeah, I was thinking of somebody else too. Maybe. Yeah, can't think of it.
I think his name was after a Baha'i dude, like some prominent guy in that.
Eventually, Egg, I'm really sad. I'm quiet about this. You're not on the chat, right? You're not streaming.
Yeah, I'm streaming.
Oh, never mind. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I gotta go anyway. I'm gonna go watch that Alien movie.
Okay.
My stream is muted now. I'll unmute it later. I'll just learn to cope without it. All right, I'll be back. Wow. Did anybody prove it? So after lowering drug prices 700%, now Trump's gonna add another 100% to the tariffs on drugs. Wow. Wow. Now we're only getting 600% off drugs. Wow.
I want drugs.
Well, we're not getting them. Trump lowered drug prices like 700% like a year ago. I still haven't seen any of that money, so I don't know what happened with it. But he took 100% off of that because of 100% tariff. So we're losing so drugs are now only like 600. So like if you want like let's say Benadryl, and you go to Walgreens, let's say the Benadryl's $10. You're gonna get back $600 or $60, right?
Wait, where's this? I need to do this. Like, I have lots of Benadryl.
Well, yeah, it's because drug prices have been lowered like 700%. Well, now 600%. So they have to give you money now when you want drugs. That's what Trump did for us. But now he's put tariffs on drug imports. So we're going to get less money back every time we go to try to get drugs. Do you understand it?
No. I understand how 600% off work.
Right, where you're getting back a shitload of money?
Yeah, but I bought Benadryl yesterday and they didn't give.
Right, because you probably didn't get any percentage off.
Oh, that's fucked. These fucking scammers.
Yeah, Trump said he was going to lower drug prices by like 700%.
No, I remember that clearly. Yes, I do remember him harping on that.
Right, so at that point, we should be getting money instead of having to pay money for drugs. We should be getting money for drugs. When you lower the price by 700%, yeah, I should be getting back a shitload of money for everything I want.
Do you think that'll work with like Percocets and Xanax and Klonopin?
I don't know, but my first concern was it absolutely crashing the economy and literally every pharmacy going bankrupt. Like, I don't know how that's sustainable, but Trump said he was going to do it.
Right. Yeah, but didn't they like not do it?
Well, they couldn't have done it because you can't lower drug prices by 700%. You can lower it at a max of 100%. If you go any lower than 100%, yeah, I mean, you're getting money back at that point. Like if I normally charge something $10 and I say it's 1,000% off, I owe you like $900 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you pay me to take
Hold
it.
on.
Yeah.
Wait. The math is, you're not mathing correctly. I gotta correct you.
No, the
Hold on.
math is
So
correct. If I normally charge something $10, normal charge, right?
Yeah.
And you come to buy it and I reduce the price by 100%, that's you owe $0, right?
Okay.
Now, if I reduce the price another 100%, I owe you $10. And
Yes.
if I
No, I understand that.
right, so by lowering drug prices 700%, we should all be getting fat money every time we go want some Benadryl. We just go into Walgreens, we say, I want the Benadryl. They give us the Benadryl plus 700 times or percent the cost. That's Trump math right there.
Well, yes, Trump math is accounting for an original price to produce the medicine of $1, and then the pharmaceutical company charging $700 for that $1 medication.
Well, no, it's his dumbass brain not knowing how percentages work. Like, if I charge $10 and then I increase my prices by 100%, then it's now $20. And if
No, I agree.
Right, but if I lower it by 100%, it doesn't go down to $1 to $10. It goes down to 0. If I lower it by
yeah, the new amount is the 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I could increase it 1,000,000,000%, but I only need to lower it 100%.
That is correct. Yes, that I 100% follow.
So in Trump brain, when he was rambling, he was talking about how drug prices have been going up over the years. You know, they've been going up 10%, 5% here, you know, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna lower them by 100%. Fuck it, 200%. I might even go 700%. It's like, dude.
Yep, I remember that shit, dude. That's crazy math, bro.
Dude, Walgreens was like, no.
Dude, imagine the people going there like, how come this is still the same price? Like all the Trumpers pissed off and shit.
You see all the price tags are like negative $1,200. It's like, what?
Dude, we'd be ransacking the place. It'd be like freaking the LA riots.
The funny thing is we wouldn't be running out the door. We would just be like filling our arms up and getting in line. And just fucking getting in line and having them check us out.
Yep. Yeah, that's 700% off there, bud.
I hate my fucking president so goddamn bad. He's just so fucking stupid. Just won't just die. Just fucking die already, you old sack of shit.
Yeah, I mean, my grandpa died way younger than this motherfucker. Goddamn. And I want that experimental drug that only he gets to take. Like, what the fuck?
The sad thing is, dude, is I know as soon as Trump's dead, they're just gonna put Trump 2.0 in their seat. The next shitbag in line. He's probably gonna be worse than Trump. They didn't learn their lesson at all. And in fact, if you listen to the maggots, they're mad Trump didn't give them what they wanted.
He was never intended on giving them what they wanted. He's just a freaking crook, man. That's it.
I know. But they're not mad that he's like ruining the country. All these people that like the Republicans that are turning away from him, they're mad that he didn't like do more shit that they wanted him to do. Like with immigration and stuff. They wanted to see like immigrants hanging from trees and shit.
They really did, by the way that they portrayed it down here where I'm at. That shit was deep and pretty disgusting.
Yeah, that's why I'm ashamed of my like fellow Americans, dude. It's just like they refuse to evolve morally.
Yeah, and as a veteran, I'm highly ashamed of my veteran people that are still supporting this jackass.
Oh, I know, it's crazy. All these dead soldiers and shit over this Iran war shit. Shit triggers the fuck out of me.
Well, just the shit that he said, like about the some soldiers not mattering, like that created a PTSD moment in my brain.
Yeah.
Like I don't care on the battlefield if you're fucking injured, what side you're on. I'm fucking gonna make sure that you get the help you need so you can go to jail.
Yeah, I think a lot of Americans just lost their identity and got behind this fucking traitor. Because I mean, he is so un-American. It's just crazy. You know, if the left was doing 1% of the shit that Trump was doing, they'd all be calling.
Well, they'd be throwing themselves in front of cars and trains and shit. They'll be like, atrocity, our democracy is being destroyed. Like all this dumb shit that they said before, and then they always, the people that do that always are the ones that are going to destroy that democracy in the first place. At least in my experience. It's like I was speaking with somebody today, and I said you can't pull the mangroves, right? Like I'm not gonna pull up mangroves out of the ground because it's a federal offense to pull up, mangroves in a protected area. And they were like, "Oh, well, you don't have to be hostile about it." And I'm like, I just told you I wasn't going to pull up the mangroves. Like that, what hostile thing was said there? And it was in a text message. So it wasn't like I was verbally speaking out loud for it to sound hostile.
Yeah.
You monster.
Yeah, I'm not going to commit a federal offense so that you can have a walkway for a gate. Like I don't do that. You can pay a guy, an arborist, to come out. You could pay the county to come out and assess your trees and see if you can remove these mangroves, and then have a professional company remove them. Because if I remove them, I become responsible, and I don't want to replace mangroves. They're expensive.
Oh, mangrove. That's far less exciting.
A mangrove or a mangrove?
I thought you were saying mango.
No,
I don't know why mango would be buried, but
yeah, no, the mangroves are those trees that grow with those weird spindly roots.
hey, man, maybe there are federally protected mangoes buried in the ground.
So a mango could get buried. So like an opossum could be walking at the base of a mangrove tree, maybe hear some kind of grub in the ground and start digging, leaving a hole in the ground. It wouldn't find the grub, so it'd get hungry and climb the tree. As it's climbing the tree, it hits a branch, knocks a mango off, falls in the hole, and everything gets buried.
Yeah, I found buried mangoes. The squirrels will do that shit. They'll dig big ass holes for that shit.
Bam, get wrecked.
They got wrecked. But mangroves are those trees that grow in the water, and they have like cool roots and stuff. They're really awesome. But they're federally protected, so you can't even like remove a sapling from your yard. Like you can get a $5,000 fine or some shit.
Yeah, sea oats are bullshit like that. They'll fucking like post up shop on your shit, and then you can't fuck with it.
Oh, dude, like sea oats in where my property's at, fuck with people all the time. And gopher turtles, bro. I love gopher turtles. But that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Like if there's sea oats there, I want them to grow. They're obviously growing there because it's the proper conditions for them. Like we have a mini season next week for lobsters, so we can catch them before the commercial traps go out. But then August 6th, our lobster season opens. And then I can just go out every day and catch 6 lobsters. And then if I bring 4 people on the boat, that's 24 fucking lobsters every day you can get, dude. That's pretty epic. And they're salty lobsters.
If they don't want them, though, like what if they want them?
My kids, they definitely want them. What the fuck?
Oh, 20 lobsters? How many per person?
6. 6 per person. Yep. Okay. And I can have I have 4 people that I take on my boat, my 2 kids and wife, obviously. And we can catch 24 lobsters a day. That's a lot, dude.
That's like too much, man, for like one person. If you ask me, like 6 lobsters. Can't eat 6 lobsters. Barely get through like 1 lobster. Well, how big are the lobsters? If they're little baby lobsters, then yeah, you can probably eat several of them. All right, Moose Lamb, let's go. Prove it.
You're gonna get.
Why are you being racist, man?
You said prove it. I proved it.
No. All you did was just be racist, man.
Is it racist if it's my race?
Yeah, it's racist to believe that you have a race. That's racist.
You know, Alex Jones said it best. You know, durka.
What are you doing?
Speaking in my native tongue.
So many fucking idiots on this platform. Did you guys see Disclosure Day yet? Just got done watching it.
No, I'm so behind on movies, man.
Yeah, Iran could just sit there and charge tolls and just be like, yeah, we're charging tolls until we recuperate our war losses, and just keep fucking doing it. You know, they could just say that to America. Just be like, look, however much money you want to cost us and spending on this fucking war is how much we're going to toll until we recuperate our losses. So keep fucking bombing, keep doing your shit. Are you guys seeing, like, we're spending, like, it could be upwards to, like, 20, 30, 40 million dollars just to stop one little fucking drone you can get from Best Buy.
Bro, the amount of money being injected into someone's pocket somewhere, bro, it is the greatest heist in American history.
That's why the war machine should have fucking been nationalized a long time ago. Like, this shit is crazy. I understand, like, innovation, that whole fucking argument and stuff, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, to see war profiteering at this fucking scale, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Because here's the thing. It's not like if you gave me a $5 million missile
and you said, look, man, if a $20 drone with a bomb that can kill you comes at you, I want you to push this button. It'll launch that $10 million or $5 million missile. I'm hitting the missile. You try to shoot me with your $20 fucking drone, and I know that missile can blow it up. I'll hit that button 7 fucking times. I don't give a shit. Fuck the taxpayer at that point. I don't give a fucking shit. I'll hold my finger on the button and make that fucking thing look full auto, right? Until you cut me off, and then I die, right? And that's reasonable. I think that's rational. You put any human being in a situation where you hit this button and a $10 million fucking missile will fire out of it and save your life. Yeah, they're hitting that button. They're just going to hold it down. And you can't blame them, right? You gave them a fucking button to hit infantry stream fucking super expensive missiles. All you got to do is hit it and live. You can't expect somebody to sit there and be like, damn, that's only a $20 drone. And I would have to fire that $5 million missile. I think I'm just going to let it blow. No one's going to do that. They're going to hit that fucking. So.
Well, yeah, when I was deployed, we used javelins and stuff for fucking nonsense. Just like absolute nonsense, dude. And not just, it was just such a waste.
One of those things like $250,000 pop or something. I don't know how much they are.
Yeah, dude.
They're
They're about $250,000 each, dude. Like $250,000 each shot. And we would shoot 10 to 20 of them in a day. Like we'd authorize that with just one unit. And mind you, we had like 85 units we monitored.
Yeah, they're $250,000 a fucking shot. FMG 148 Javelin missile round costs approximately $178,000 to $240,000. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like shoot like. You can't give someone a Javelin missile and say, don't use it because it's expensive. It's like, what?
And no, you're right, dude. Iran could literally they could hold out for 20 years. We as Americans aren't going to deal with that shit.
And that's the thing. If they tell the world, look, we're going to keep a tally on how much this costs, and we're just going to keep charging tolls until we recover the loss. I mean, I think Americans would probably get pressured into ending it, like all the nations over there, because then they could just turn the tariffs on us. They could be like, all right, look, dude, we're gonna fucking start charging you guys extra. And we have a tariff war, and then it's gonna suck balls, and then everything will just suck. Like it already sucks. So fuck it, do it.
Right, how much more can it suck?
Yeah, just fucking do it. I don't care. It can't get worse. And honestly, the only way it could get worse is civil war. That's like the only way it could actually get worse.
I actually have a few other ways it could get worse, but that's already in process.
I mean, maybe I'm not thinking hard enough, but it seems like everything but civil war has fucking happened. So
right, that's what I was saying. Is that would be the next. I don't see anything else besides that. I mean, unless we just keep taking it.
I think at this point, if they just tried to ban the Second Amendment, man, they could, and Americans they'd throw a fit. There'd be some protests, and then that would be it. People would be arrested. They would all be in prison, expecting like the people on the outside to free them, and then we would all just like wait for the content creators to make videos of it on YouTube. And then we'll sit here and be like, damn, that sucks. Those guys got fucking shafted after they went and started a civil war, and then nobody joined them, and we all just logged on to YouTube to see what, content creators had to say.
Yeah, man, that's like that supply song. April 26, 1990 news. There was a riot on the streets. Tell me where were you?
Yep.
I was sitting home watching my TV.
Yep, that's how it is, man.
Yeah, we'll be sitting at home watching it on TV going, just like the January 6th bullshit. I wouldn't have ever partook in that, though, because I knew that was a movement of false. Sorry if those lyrics give you a strike.
I don't think reciting lyrics. I think it's playing the actual content.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Because I showed a picture of Willy Wonka candy, and they took all my revenue.
Oh, dude, I got 31 fucking subscribers. I ain't getting no goddamn revenue. So they could demonetize
I think
all my
during
shit.
Hurricane Irma, I had 130,000 live streamers watching my stream.
Yeah, no, it's usually just me. Well, there's somebody in here listening, but I have my account that I run to just like look at the stream, and then that's usually it. Most of the time, it's just me all by myself.
Yeah, for now, until the right religiotards get a hold of it, and then then the atheists get a hold of it, and then you know how butthurt atheists get when the theotards get with them, Then they start working together.
Man, for me, it's just going to be hopefully a learning experience, dude. I want to bring it. Come on, where are the atheists and the theists at? Fucking pussies. Y'all want to sit there and chirp back and forth at each other until the atheists show up.
Yeah, language has always been important. That buffalo thing still gets me.
Buffalo.
Yep, buffalo.
Yup. Wow, women.
How's
Why
the
do you
school
hate
bus
me so
going?
much, Eve, and refuse to look at any of my content and constantly tell me to go fuck myself, huh? YouTube tells me no women have ever looked at my content. How do you think that makes me feel?
Like a hot, attractive male for gay men.
I have a purely male audience. What was it, between 25 and 34 or something? Hold on.
I've looked at your YouTube, and I identify as a woman on YouTube.
Lies.
I don't know.
Lies.
Wait a minute. That's impossible. That you don't have women on there. Didn't Ellie Law subscribe?
Who?
Miss Law subscribe.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, I mean, not according to YouTube.
No, their analytics are